This is the start of a walk. We're going just parked in Edale car park, and we're going to head to Kinder Scout. It's a 7-mile circular route. It says take about 3 hours 15 minutes, more likely to take me nearer 4. And we'll see how we go. It's a nice day, sun is shining, clear blue skies. Yeah, not like last week when we tried to attempt shuttling slope, which we did, but in the pouring rain. So this is coming into Edale and past the Rambling Inn. This is Edale Parish Church, which is a beautiful looking place. Don't know when that dates back to, but might tell me on here. Garden of Reflection and Remembrance. That's the old Nag's Head. And as we pan round here, this is the start of the Pennine Way. Pennine Way, Upper Booth, 1 1/4 miles. Extremely windy. Back across there to Mount Tor, the rail track to Manchester, which goes through the mountain over there in that direction. say, that little bit there is the steepest climb I've done in a long time. We've got to this relatively level path, which we can have a breather. So the Emirates plane going over the top over there looked like you could almost see the passengers who were in line with it. And the A380 that flew over the top of the hill just a moment ago. When you look at the countryside around here, it's countryside that kind of was you take for granted as a kid. When you're looking at it now, and you're looking at these walls, the wall on the other side there, who on earth, who built that wall and when and why? Just said, I'm going to claim that piece of land there and I'm going to build a wall around it. Look across to the other side, across to Mamtor and beyond, and the walls that go across there, right up to the borderline with the mall, and the effort that they put in to build those walls and time it must have taken. It's incredible, amazing sight. And we'll carry on now along the path. We've not got to the furthest point yet, and at some point it's got to loop back round, as it's a circular route, circular walk. Loop back round to the right and over the tops of the hills, I guess, before we drop back down into Edale. It's a little more sheltered in the valley, but still blowing quite a strong breeze. And as we walk up, we're heading towards Jacob's Ladder. We're only 2.5 miles into the walk up to this moment in time, and so we've got a good way to go on a 7 mile. And up to now, some of it's been hard going, but that was a gentle downhill stretch, and we're on a gentle uphill stretch as we head towards Jacob's Ladder. Nice little waterfall as we continue the trek towards Jacob's Ladder, which we think is up there in the distance. But some way to go yet. Got a steady flow of water coming down here though. We have had some reasonable amount of rain the past few weeks. But this is flowing quite strongly. Did a walk out last week into Monsaldale and Sheedale. All the stepping stones out there, and the river was not in full flood but flowing nicely. And this was very pleasant. You see the waterfalls. Waterfalls are getting more frequent, I would imagine, as we get further up we get a lot taller as well. It's a bit dodgy on the path. Fortunately it's dry, so it's not slippery, but very narrow. I've got to admit, this is not an easy route. In the Ordnance Survey maps, it classes this as moderate. I class it as bloody hard work. This is as we start to climb Jacob's Ladder, and apparently, talking to two other walkers just now, it only gets worse. It gets steeper where you're virtually rock climbing towards the end. There's a path that goes up to the left, or the one up the ravine to the right. We're going up the right, which is slightly easier, but whichever way you go, it's rock climbing rather than walking. go as far as to say this walk that we're doing, climbing up there, and we've still got a long way to go to get to the top. The scenery is amazing, but this is not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. You're gaining nothing from this apart from hard work. You've got to get to the top now to get around, to come back along the top and drop down into Edale, but it is not fun climbing up this very steep Jacob's ladder. Perhaps about 3/4 of the way up now, and that's hard work. That's a damned hard work climbing up there. But the top is in sight. I don't know what they call that rock formation there, but the top is just, the peak is just there. I hope we don't climb over there and there's another mountain to climb when we get over the peak, but we'll soon find out when we get up there. But like I say, that's not easy. Finally, we've almost reached the top. Don't know if they do climbing up there, but I would imagine they do. They climb most rocks around here. There's a path that's running across there, across the tops, which would drop down into Barber Booth and back to Edale. But how long have we been out now?
2 hours and 50 minutes.
2 hours and 50 minutes, and we've only done 3 miles. That's 1 mile an hour. That's how the terrain has been as we've come across here, and we've still got a little bit to go to get up there, and then we should go across over to the right and back down to Edale, which hopefully, when we get on the top a bit flatter, should speed things up a little bit. This is where we're about to cheat a little bit, because the path back is on the other side, and to get to it you can walk round perhaps a few hundred metres round the other side, but this cuts the corner a little bit as we cross the top of the waterfall and up over the other side. It's pity the sun's not on that, it would look rather pretty. Finally, we got a slight bit of well, flat terrain to walk across the tops now, so that should speed things up a little bit to get away from, we've been doing a mile an hour, and this said the whole route would take 3 hours and 10 minutes. Well, we've not done half the route yet, and we've been 3 hours. So anybody that can do that in 3 hours 10 minutes in this terrain, a better man than me. As we climb to the top and walk along the top of the ridge, we've got the wind with us again, blowing quite strongly, and another rock formation here. Some very strange shapes to those rocks. sure which is the hardest, walking up, walking down. We're coming down now, back down into to Edale. Down this steep path. I was hoping it was going to weave down rather than go straight down, but it's going pretty much straight down at the moment, and it's not as hard going as coming up, but it's not easy going, that's for sure. You see the train in the bottom down there, passenger train. That's Sheffield Manchester, goes out. So we're almost at the bottom, almost back after 5.5 miles, and we're looking down, just see the church spire sticking up through the trees in Edale. It's a hell of a steep drop that we just come down there, and I was hoping it was going to zigzag its way down, but it didn't. It came almost straight down the side over rocks, so not the most pleasurable trip, that one, at all, but we've still got a bit of downhill to do, and into Edale. And here we are, back to Edale and the old Nag's Head, and that's nearly, well, it'll be over 6 miles by the time we get back to the car, but I can say that wasn't particularly, I wouldn't want to do that walk again, let's put it that way. Not really, not enjoyable, too steep, both up and down, so no, not one for me.